Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, today we're going to talk about ayah number 13 in Surah al-Buruj, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us of some of His characteristics. إِنَّهُ هُوَ يُبْدِئُ وَيُعِيدُ. Verily, He is the one that originates, He begins, and He is the one that restores or resurrects. And let's think about this ayah in reflecting on the whole surah. Why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remind us in Surah al-Buruj, إِنَّهُ هُوَ يُبْدِئُ وَيُعِيدُ. He is the one that originates and He is the one that restores. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us that in the scale of everything that's happening around us, what happens to us on a daily basis, the trials and the tribulations, the deaths that we see are very minuscule. Although in the moment they feel grand, but this is something that is happening perpetually and continuously since the beginning of creation until the end of time, inshallah, when we all return to our Lord. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us that He started the creation, and there's always, and we see it in the cycle of life, we see it in the cycle of the seasons. When things start, they originate, we see them bloom, and then they lose their life, and then Allah restores them again. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us of His ability, and that when at a moment we feel that what around us is so grand and so overwhelming, Allah reminds us that it is a very small moment in terms of space and time of Allah's creation. And that inshallah, when we meet our Lord and we see each other together in Jannah, inshallah, we will realize that these trials, these moments that we felt affliction, that we felt harm, that we felt just overwhelmed and stressed and anxious, they were nothing compared to the everlasting bliss that we will be together in, inshallah. And how does this idea of huwa yubdi'u wa yu'id, why is it important now in Surah al-Buruj? When we're talking about the tyrants who were throwing the believers in this huge pit of fire. So in that moment, those tyrants thought that they were getting rid of all the believers, that they were destroying anything that connected people on this earth to the one God. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds them that He originates and He restores. He originates and He resurrects. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one that originally put the faith in the hearts of these believers, there will come believers again that He will put the faith in. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's light and those that worship Him and follow Him and carry His torch and this truth on earth, this will never end. And this has been the cycle of believers on earth since the beginning of time. That although you may think that you are getting rid of this light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there's always going to be a flicker of light on the face of this earth. And this actually happened, that the people in the story of Surah al-Buruj, that although the king thought that he had killed everybody who believed, there was actually one person that escaped his death sentence, his tyranny, and went out far away from his kingdom and continued to call to Allah's way. And so subhanAllah, as Allah is reminding us of this in this ayah, He's also reminding us of the sense that people may have felt, the believers, when they were standing at the edge of that pit of fire, and they felt that, is this the end? You know, this path that we have chosen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us and reminded them that He is the one that originates and restores. And although this may seem like the end of life on this earth is just a phase towards the everlasting. And that them falling to that fire pit is actually opening up for them the gardens of paradise that will be forever, inshallah, because they realize that this test that they're going through on this earth is just something small. It's just a small test in this cycle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala leading us to, inshallah, Allah's pleasure and His mercy and entrance into His Jannah. This also helps us reflect on the feelings that our brothers and sisters in Palestine might be going through right now and have been going through for so many months. SubhanAllah, the tests that they face, at the moment that they face it, for us seem overwhelming. And even for them might feel very scary. But they have a yaqeen, they have a certainty, they have a belief in this characteristic and this power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He originates, He restores. He gave you this life, He will give you another life. There is something much better after this. There are people who will be asked, how long have you lived on this earth? And they will say, a day or part of a day. يوما أو بعد يوم. This is again part of that cycle. This life that we live will not last forever. It comes and it goes. The tests that we go through, they come and they go. The time of ease, it will come and it will go. And this is the cycle of this dunya. Unlike the cycle of the akhirah will be everlasting. And we want to make sure that when we reach the akhirah together, inshallah, that we will be in the place that we want to be underneath the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Firdaus al-A'la, inshallah, with those who have been steadfast, with those who stood at the fire of the pit, with those who continue to struggle in the face of oppression all over the world, and specifically our dear brothers and sisters in Gaza. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.